Can you tell us something about yourself?
Yeah, so hi, I'm Shantanu. I'm a final year student at IIT Bombay. I'm in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, and I'm pursuing the dual degree program. So so I gave a CAT exam on the 16th of November 2008, in which I'm among the top 10 or 12 people who have got 100% L marks.
Okay. And how did you crack CAT 2008? What's your mantra, success mantra?
So very honestly, there is no success. There is no one such success mantra, but there are like 2-3 things that I'm like aware of and did them. So firstly, the 3 sections in the CAT, and I think verbal was my weakest section. So I realized this early, especially. I'll give some background to it. Last year's CAT paper, the CAT 2007, was the verbal section was very tough. And a lot of my friends actually did very well on the other 2 sections, but kind of had problems with the verbal section. So this year I was like aware of the fact that the same thing would happen to me, and knowing that, I tried to like ensure that I worked with my verbal section much more than my maths or DI.
Okay. How did you get in each of these sections? How much did you get?
Yeah, I got 80 in maths. I got 46 in logic DI, and I got 84 in English. However, the out of, as in like maths and DI were out of 100, the English section was out of 160. So even though numerically English was highest, I guess I did much better in maths.
Okay, out of 160 what?
84.
84. Okay. And how are you preparing for your GD and PIs?
So I just got my results a few days ago, so the past few days have been a blur of excitement and jubilation. But having said that, I'll probably start figuring out things soon. I'll probably start reading up what's going on, like newspapers, vaccines. I'll go and talk to people as to what is the right way to approach a GDPI. So again, all these classes have GDPI practice sessions, so I'll try and go there and hone my GDPI skills. I guess the most important thing in any GD or PI is that you be honest with yourself. And that has helped me, I guess, whenever I have given a personal interview. And if you're honest about yourself and like speak your mind out, I think the person across the table appreciates it.
Okay. What's your future and what are your ambitions in life?
So I wouldn't want to like jump to like, just because I got a good CAT score doesn't mean I like suddenly shift my goals a notch higher, because like, essentially I'm not changed as a person. So I have always been a person who believes in taking life as it comes, as in there's no point planning too much in the future. So I'll just probably immediately, like in the coming 1 month or so, give the GDPI calls, try to do well in them, and try to convert as many of them into admits as I can. Following which I'll look into the matter. Post, in the long term, really not sure what I want to do. Like I'll probably, irrespective of where I land up, just try to be sincere and like work my way through, and hope for the best.
And what were your ambitions as a child when you were a small child?
Okay, so as a child I wanted to become a cricketer, so like very clear about that.
And who do you adore the most in the cricketing fraternity?
Being born and brought up in Bombay, I guess Sachin Tendulkar is the only name that could possibly come.
Okay. And what role do you think can India's youth play in the country's future? Because the demographics are heavily loaded in favor of youth. Yeah,
so even though we have like 25% of our country is below 25 and stuff like that, it's very clear that clearly not all the 25% people can go and like leave their work and go about changing the future of the country. But what we can certainly do, and what we don't do, is have a sense of social conscious. As in, like for example, like I drive a bike, so I see people who are well-to-do, as in people who are like probably suited up and stuff like that, in bikes or cars, having no second thoughts when like jumping a signal, or like when crossing from Thane to Mulund, not paying the toll or stuff like that. And that really pisses me off, and it makes sense when you're some 25 years, 30 years ago, it was a different story when people didn't have that kind of social conscious. Now we are very much aware of what the people in a first world country behave, and I think it's rather than infrastructure and the number of industries we build up, it's the social conscious that we need to develop as a society. which will essentially bring about a change that we are looking for.
5 things that you would like to change in India. You would want them to be changed.
Yeah, first thing, especially is something like we should have a sense of social consciousness. Like whenever we do something, we should at least have a feeling like what are the consequences of my action on somebody besides me. If he tries to emulate me, so it's really a simple thing. As in, if I'm breaking a signal, someone else will break it too. Third person will break it, then like utter chaos. So just keeping in fact this social conscious will do one thing. Secondly, I think we in fact do need to improve on our infrastructure a great deal. For example, being in IIT Bombay, you would know like the road in front of IIT Bombay has been like under construction ever since the last 7-8 years. Now things are improving. I'll be very honest with you. Since last monsoon, the road widening that has happened has like picked up tremendous speed. We actually see things that are changing. I driving up and down, I feel that the occurrence of a traffic jam has reduced. But having said that, we should like, if you look the number of cars that were on roads 10 years ago and the road condition then, so that difference has become even more stark. So the road conditions have not lived up to the number of cars that are plying on the Vikhroli Andheri road. So having said that, I think infrastructure is the second thing. Thirdly, I think people in our country, and I'm talking about the sector of education, students in our country do need to have some ethics when like regards to education. Like, even in a place like IIT Bombay, it is sad that people do not have ethics when it comes to education. I guess that's being a student, being age 22. I think these are the 3 main issues that like strike me.
What ethics are you talking about, and can you elaborate a bit?
How honest are you when it comes to giving your exams, submitting your assignments and things like that?
Okay. And your inspirations in life?
So I think so inspiration in life, one would be my uncle. My uncle works my uncle is working with the government in the nuclear sector, and in spite of being in a government machinery, the amount of dedication that he gets to his work is tremendous. So as my mother's brother, so I think something like that is very hard, and he inspires me on a couple of counts. Firstly, the amount of sincerity that he has to his job. Secondly, the way he has tackled situations that I have the few I have come to know of, and the amazing poise that he maintains even in the worst of situations. And fourthly, in spite of working a very heavy week, in spite of being very busy, the amount of concern that he has for his family members and the amount of time he takes out for his family. These 4 counts, again, my uncle inspires me. So it's being close to him, it's been a huge factor. Celebrity inspirations come and go actually, so there's no one celebrity inspiration.